All right, welcome back to the ARLnow podcast. I'm Lena, here with Vernon and Dan this week.
Hey
How are
guys,
y'all
Hey.
doing?
Pretty good. It's been a busy week.
I'm doing
Yeah.
great. We got to see Vernon's rabbit before we started recording this.
Oh, yeah. Let me
Yeah,
see if I can
everybody
grab him
missed
again real quick.
Hugo.
Grab him. Here he is again for those viewing online.
Oh,
Little
no.
guy.
Oh,
Hugo
he's
is our
so
special
cute.
guest this week. He's so cute. I
Yeah.
love my
Yeah.
favorite thing is the little nose when they go, and then I love the ear cleaning. There's
Oh, yeah,
nothing
they're-
cuter than a bunny cleaning its ears. Oh my god, I'm obsessed.
Do they use their foot?
Yeah. Well, or they'll like grab it with their foot, his hands, and just like lick it clean. The funny thing is he does that every single time after I pick him up. Like I'm gonna set him down, he's gonna do it again because it's like gotta get human off of me.
Filthy.
So
Get your stinking paws off of me.
get your
Oh
stinking
my
paws.
god. Oh, so cute.
Well, we could have picked a more vocal special guest this week.
Yeah.
He'll be giving his input throughout, but don't expect much of him.
It'll be a series of thumps. So that's how he communicates.
When he doesn't like something, that's how he'll tell us. He said, I disagree.
Right. Yeah.
Can they make sounds?
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of sounds, fortunately. The last rabbit didn't really either, but there are some rabbits who get very vocal. They'll like growl sometimes. My last one growled from time to time.
Huh.
The closest thing they get to purring is like grinding their teeth. It's like a little chuttering thing. Like one night I was falling asleep out on the couch here, like laying down, and he jumped up on my chest and was sitting there, like laying there, and I was petting his head. He just started kind of purring back at me, and that was super sweet. But no, generally they're pretty quiet.
He's like grinding his teeth.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Are you doing it now?
No. Yeah, when I do that, my wife is not.
Like, let me try that one on for size. No, but normally they're pretty quiet. Some rabbits thump a lot more freely than other ones do. Hugo's only thumped once, and it scared the hell out of him. That was like he thumped and then ran away and looked back at the source of the sound. Like I don't think he realized that he had thumped. That was when he was a little bunny.
Oh.
He's still
Yeah.
learning how to be a bunny rabbit. He said, oh, we
Yeah.
do this. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get right into it. Hugo, feel free to jump in at any point.
Yeah.
All right. Our first story for the day. New Mahjong studio opens in Falls Church.
Talk Tiles to Me, which is kind of a fun little title. It's a
Yeah.
it's like a popular game. I don't know if you guys played. I used to play it online a bunch when I was like a little kid.
Yeah, the solitaire version I would play a lot.
Yeah, solitaire version. They do not have the solitaire version. That was a point of contention. They're like, we follow the international Mahjong set of rules. And so that is a like 4-player game that you set up with other people and you're all kind of competing in this Mahjong tournament. It's really cool. It's really fun. And it's kind of nice to have a local community for that too, for people who really want to just kind of get out there and play. It is coming to 113 Rowell Court. So that's here at Falls Church. And Falls Church, we love this kind of thing around here, like little local coffee shops, little local comic shops. So I feel like it'll fit in pretty well.
Yeah. I feel like the game of Mahjong, like it's been around for so long, but it feels like in the last maybe like decade, it's kind of had a little bit of like a surgence in the young adult world. Like you hear about it a lot more.
It's funny because kind of like pinball for early Windows, that's one of those things where I credit to it being one of the default things loaded onto Macs when we were like kids. So I think that's how a lot of people learned about it. Because it was like one of the default games that you could pull up on any Mac. Yeah, that might be part of it. It's also, it's funny like saying, oh yeah, it's a Chinese game, like it's very old. It's like from the 19th century, so not, so I was thinking like, yeah, it's old, but not as old as I thought it would be. It's not like chess or anything like that. It's a relatively recent game. Yeah, but that should be fun. I don't know. I look forward to kind of seeing how it does in Falls Church.
Yeah. I feel like I gotta say, I really do not know much about Falls Church. I mean, I cover Arlington. Falls Church is kind of, it is objectively secondary in our coverage, but like I like learning, like all that I know about it is through these stories that we do. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's the place where I can go like play Mahjong or like buy some yarn or like.
Yeah, it's got that taste of Alexandria feel to it, that kind of small town in the city kind of vibe. I like it. I like places that have unique streets, unique stores, unique kind of environments like that. Falls Church feels, no offense to people in Arlington, I think it feels a lot more unique in some ways than a lot of the just strip malls you see around a lot of places in Arlington. So I know for Dan it's secondary to the rest of Arlington for coverage, but first in my heart, Falls Church.
All right, you're selling it. You're sponsored by the Falls Church Chamber.
Yeah, sponsored by the smallest chamber of commerce.
All right. Well, moving on to our next story. Some Arlington pharmacies began offering the COVID-19 shots without prescription.
Yeah, this was a kind of interesting story to follow over the last couple days where there's been a lot of chaos in terms of whether, like, which people can get the latest version of the COVID-19 shot, chaos at the federal government level. And it's been playing out kind of weirdly here in Virginia. Originally, at least a lot of pharmacies were not allowing you to get the vaccine unless you had a prescription. That was my understanding up until we got a tip about this Wednesday, yesterday when we're recording this. And yeah, somebody was like, oh, I can just like go to Safeway and get it. It's the same at all the Safeways across Virginia. And I was like, there's no way that's true. But it turns out it is. I think it changed literally on Wednesday. Yeah, CVS also, you can now get it without a prescription. And what I found out is it has to do with something like the pharmacies apply for some kind of protocol at the state level. I don't really know how it works, but they found a workaround and you can now get the prescription, or you can now get it without prescriptions. And Vernon, I know you actually did.
Yeah, well, it was funny because when you mentioned that, I was like, I went to a CVS, not one in a Safeway, but I went to a CVS like earlier last month, I guess, and I was like, hey, could I get a COVID shot? And they're like, no, we don't know what the guidance is from like the federal government yet, so we're kind of saving it for the people who need it. And then when you sent me this message, I was like, well, I've been trying to get one anyway. So yeah, I went over to the Safeway near me, walked in, had no problem. They were like, come on into the back and get the shot. Yeah, it worked out great.
Yeah. I wonder if or how long it'll stay this way before there's like some sort of pushback.
Yeah. I mean, it has been deeply confusing over the last week. Even just trying to report on this, I'm like, okay, you know, this is something that's affecting a ton of people. I'm sure there's a lot of coverage on this, and I can just like pull up the coverage and they'll tell me. Actually, we were the ones, to my understanding, we were the ones to break the news that you could actually get them in Virginia.
Yeah.
Because I was corresponding with the spokesperson for all of CVS. And I was like, hey, you know, can you get these in Virginia now? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, great, I'll put that in the story. We run the story, and then I'd ask her a follow-up question. She emails me after the story runs, and like with the information I'd asked for. And she's like, by the way, the Washington Post just emailed me after your story ran.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the sign in the door was like, come on in, get your shot. So I guess it's one of those things where people on the street knew. It just wasn't in media coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think this is something that's actually changed like within the last couple days.
Yeah, I feel like every time I hear about it, it's something like every single day. It's like, this is what's happening. No, actually, now this is what's happening. Actually, we're making some changes. And now this is what's happening. So yeah, we'll see if maybe, you know, through, at the very least, through like flu season, that kind of stuff, the winter, if maybe this, you know, stays like this and it's an easy place to get it. Or
I would definitely recommend getting it while we have it, right?
Yeah.
Like while it's available, go in there. Not like get your COVID shot, get your flu shot. Lene, I know before you recorded, you were saying you don't believe in vaccines.
Oh my God. Don't even put this on me.
But I would encourage everybody, even Lene, to go get vaccinated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But those remind me, I do have to go get all of the good fall vaccines. Winter is coming. Don't believe everything Vernon says, people.
The ARLnow podcast, we can believe 50% of what we say. It's all true, even the lies.
All right. We're going to move on again. The missing middle scores a win as appeals court returns to the original ruling. This one was by you, Dan.
Yet another missing middle story. You know, there's been a lot of legal updates on this, and I frankly don't really expect the vast majority of people to be keeping track of what's happening at this point. But basically, we're back to, so to rewind, the county board passes missing middle. A lower court strikes down missing middle, and it goes up to the appeals court now. And there was some shenanigans where the appeals court originally was like, it's back because of procedural reasons, and we need to go and do these procedural reasons. And then they put it on pause, and now they're like, it's back again. Basically, the lawsuit is still moving forward. The lawsuit is still going to go up to all these higher courts, and probably will end up either in the full Court of Appeals, because it was like a smaller panel of judges looking at it this time, or actually in the Virginia Supreme Court. Basically, this is a win for Missing Middle for the time being. And we're still waiting to see how this is going to work out. So it is a big deal in a sense, because every time a court makes a decision on this thing, it technically has implications for like what the county can actually do, or at least arguably it does. But the bottom line is this is, it's still going back and forth to some extent, and it's on its way up to the higher courts.
Yeah. And I mean, this is different from, we had Jane on a month ago, and she had talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just more change.
That's kind of the way it's also been with the like school board lawsuits we've been covering with them versus like the federal government, where every time we get a ruling, it feels like it's not a final decision, it's the next step in a prolonged appeal process. So any time we get to a like conclusion there where it's like, this is the new state of things, this is what is and isn't allowed, immediately there's an appeal, and then like a month later it's like, actually the opposite is true, flipping all of that around.
Right.
I know for the lawsuit stuff, it was that the courts were like, oh, this is not the court to decide this outcome. It was like a jurisdictional issue. And they're like, all right, well, you need to file it with some other federal court that involves like money transactions between the federal courts and local. I know, it's like, it's just never ending cycle here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reporting on courts is weird. Trying to keep up with what's going on in courts is very strange. And I, there's not really a good answer to like what to do with it. I mean, the lawyers know what's going on, presumably.
Yeah.
But it's like,
presumably.
But it's one of those things where, like, by definition, all of it is disputed.
Every time I hear Jared, our court reporter, talking about like starting to cover a court case, it's like, all right, Sisyphus, brand new boulder, just get it up the top of this hill, no problem. Every single time when there's like an appeal, it like starts the process over again. So
yeah, civil courts in particular are just like, I mean, criminal, at least it's like there usually is a resolution, either the person's innocent or they're guilty, and there can be appeals, but like not in the way that you have appeals in a civil process. So,
I mean, to be clear, good. I'm glad those all exist, but it's,
well, yeah,
too tedious to cover.
I was going to say, it just makes, writing about it more difficult. So poor us.
Poor journalists have material they have to cover. Oh no, whiny baby.
Me. I have to cover news that gets us, clicks and readers.
I know poor Jared catching a stray here, not being here to defend himself. But no, Jared has more stuff he has to cover. Baby, yeah. All those people with hard blue collar jobs have it so easy. They don't have to do reporting like we reporters do. Like, I can hear the commenters like right now just playing the world's tiniest violin for the court reporters.
Oh my gosh! Did you guys see it reminds me of the SNL skit with Andy Samberg. It's talking about like, it's so difficult to be a coal miner. Yeah, but they don't have to be on SNL.
I think you're about to talk about like the Bolsonaro trial or something like that. Like, gonna do a hard pivot to international court stuff.
No, it was like one of the Lonely Island videos about like coal miners think it's hard, but they haven't had to be an SNL cast member.
Well, if we could pivot from being an ARL Now podcast to just a like SNL coverage podcast, I'm down for that. I've been following all the back and forth this season with them like adding people to the cast and moving it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Michael Longfellow. Yeah.
I know. And I don't know if she was part of it, but Heidi Gardner's gone too.
Yeah.
I thought she was really funny.
All right. New podcast. That's what we're doing now. Horse facts and SNL coverage.
Yeah. SNL coverage. I've been listening to the Lonely Island podcast.
They're still around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's with like the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers or something, and it's quite funny.
Your new job is to find us an Arlington connection for that so we can bring them on. I really want to get Zach, the director of weapons, do an interview at some point because I know he's from Arlington. So.
There you go. I don't have any. I have the same birthday as Seth Meyers, but I don't think that'll get me very far.
There you go. Yeah,
that's your end.
That's your in. Yeah. When you all show up at the restaurant together for the birthday party, you're like, oh, it's your birthday too? Have you heard of
When
ARL
he's
now?
in Arlington for some reason for his
Right, yeah.
birthday. Not New York City. So I don't want to spend my birthday in New York City this year. Let's go down to Arlington. All right.
Speaking of air travel.
Yeah.
There we go. Smooth.
There you go.
Celebrities.
Yeah, good segue.
Celebrities. No, this is the easier segue here.
Oh my gosh. All right. Upcoming air show. Homecoming for Arlington Thunderbirds pilot.
Yeah, this is awesome. I actually had no expectation. Our boss was like, reach out to the Air Force, see if you can talk to this Thunderbird pilot. And I grew up going to air shows all the time. Thunderbirds, Blue Angels, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, there's no way. Like, they're busy all the time. Like, I guess in my head, I thought of maybe these as like bigger celebrities than they might be for the general public, because I grew up with these guys being like rock stars. And no, like within 2 emails, somebody was like, all right, yeah, here, send over your questions, like you can talk to them. I was like, cool. But yeah, this is Major Jeff Simmer Downey. He's a F-16 pilot and he flies with the Thunderbirds, and he is from Yorktown High School. I was from Arlington, but he went to Yorktown High School. And so it was really kind of cool talking to him about both growing up in Arlington, kind of what that meant for joining the Air Force. He's talking about being here and like watching planes fly over all the time, which I know we all complain about. But if you're somebody that like is really into aircraft and stuff like that, like I am too, I feel this way as well. It was kind of cool for him to talk about how much that influenced him wanting to fly when he was a kid.
Yeah, didn't he mention there was like some of the main flight paths go like right directly over his childhood home?
Yeah, I'm looking at the quote now. Yeah. The extended center line.
Yeah, for the flyovers at Arlington National Cemetery, when they have like the missing man formation, one of them like breaks away, that flies right over his house. So I thought
that's
really
so cool. Like, what an origin story.
Yeah, because he also talked about when he was writing up his application for the Air Force Academy, he was like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to like write here. And his mom drove him to the Air Force Memorial, dropped him off, and was like, just ponder, right? Just look at this, think about it, like think about how it makes you feel, and put that in the essay, and it worked. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Also, as soon as I told my dad about it, my dad is also a pilot. He was a pilot in the Army. He was immediately like, I was like, Dad, what questions should I ask this guy? He gave me a list of like 20 questions. He was like, ask him about the Jesus aircraft pools. Ask him about like various other flight preparation stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. It's nice having a dad who was as enthusiastic about this interview as I was.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Something I didn't realize when I was reading the story was like just how much like weight these pilots have on them as they're flying up. I don't remember if you has the it's like a huge amount of pounds.
That was originally going to be my lead, because I was just like, that fact just kind of blew me away. It's I think when you're traveling at 150 miles per hour, it feels like you have 200 pounds like pressing against your chest. That's what it feels like when you're pulling like however many G's the aircraft can pull.
Wow. How can you breathe?
With great difficulty, I would imagine.
It has to be a lot of training.
Yeah. Well, and that was also the other training part there is like, you know, how you're going at very fast speeds at very close quarters to some of these other aircraft. How do you do that safely? Like I kind of grew up under the shadow of like an aircraft disaster. My dad was involved with one in like Germany in the 80s that was like horrible. And so I was thinking about a lot of that as it comes to these like Thunderbirds things. It's like it's very dangerous. Like even if you do it perfectly safely, like stuff can still go wrong. And so it's kind of interesting hearing him talking about all of the prep work that goes onto that, not just between pilots, but talking with air crews, checking the weather, all of that stuff. Like it is extensive preparation before every single show, and they take it all extremely seriously.
Yeah, because I mean, you're moving at that, you know, insane speed. One little teeny tiny thing is, you know, a little teeny tiny thing when you're going a normal speed. Disastrous when you're going that fast.
At the Ramstein show, the one that my dad was there for, it was like 2 planes that were like passing each other. One of them just clipped the other one, and suddenly just like disastrous. Whoa. So
wow,
yeah. But no, it's so it was really cool talking to him and hearing about, you know, the awareness of that and the like planning and the prep work. It was intense. I'm also just like, I'm just very grateful for anybody that's like, that just takes their time out to like talk about this with their hometown newspaper. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. I'm glad that you were able to talk to him, because you're right. It's like a little, I don't know, like a local celebrity kind of. Like,
yeah,
it was very neat. I mean, how many of them are there? There's so few.
Yeah. They have like every branch has like their one elite team that they do this, and they rotate off every couple years. But yeah,
he's like their lead pilot too, right?
He's one of. I think he's lead solo is what it was.
Lead solo
title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. The one I wanted to ask and just like didn't was I had to restrain myself from being like, Top Gun, what do you think about it? How did it feel as watching it as a pilot out of set? Yeah. But no, this was low key kind of a dream come true, because when I was a kid, I had like Blue Angels stuff all around my room as a kid. Like we had the little prop planes, like a little mobile stuff like that. So it was Thunderbirds, so it's not quite Blue Angels, but it was still really cool.
Might be the wrong thing to say.
Yeah, piss off a bunch of Air Force people.
You thought you had a contact with the Thunderbird.
It's gonna get an email after this. Just do not ever contact me.
Delete my number.
Delete my number. Yeah.
Take down the story.
Blocked. You need to try to call him for another story at some point, and just be like, I can't get through for some reason. He's had you blocked for however many years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Very exciting. It's they're coming to the
it's the Andrews Air Base show.
Yes, in PG County on the 13th and 14th. So
so right after this goes live, it'll be up.
Oh, great.
So my dad, I told my dad about it, and he was super bummed that he couldn't make it up because he likes going to that show. And this guy was saying it's nice because they don't do this show every year. They kind of trade off with the other teams. And so he was like, it was cool coming back here. It's like a homecoming, right? This is the show closest to where he grew up in his high school and people like that. I love that.
Yeah, that's very cool. God, I bet he's got to go to his high school reunions and be like, oh, what, you're an accountant? Cool.
That's one of the things I said. It's like, that's got to be the trump card at the high school reunions, right?
Oh,
like
sure.
everybody dreams of you to go home and be like, oh, what'd you end up doing with your garage job? Oh, I just became a jet pilot and fly with the Thunderbirds, the elite Air Force stunt plane team. He also flew like combat missions and stuff, so he's not just a stunt pilot. Like this guy's the stuff. He's got the right stuff. Yeah. So,
no, that is so cool. All right, well, I think those were our stories for the day.
So thank you, Hugo, for guesting this week.
Yeah, he was quiet, but that's okay. So he's just a little bit more reserved, you know.
Yeah.
He had good input.
I
had, for several times throughout this, I had him like tugging on my pant leg, and I wanted to be like, but buddy, you have something you want to say? So
yeah, he was trying to tell you like agree or disagree. And here's why.
Missing middle and carrots for rabbit is his new campaign to fix equity around Arlington.
He really wanted to weigh in because he plays a lot of Mahjong during the day when you're gone.
Yeah, he probably would mess up some of those chips or the tiles. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Hope everyone has a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.